Okay, today we are starting the last unit of Algebra 2, Unit 8, Data and Statistics. Today's material should be pretty easy for you because it's a review. We're talking about measures of central tendencies. Now, you already know how to find the measures of central tendencies. You just may not recognize that phrase. The measures of central tendencies are mean, median, mode, and range. Okay, so you already know how to find the measures of central tendencies. You just maybe didn't know they were called that. Number one, in the past month, a real estate agent has sold 6 homes priced at $118,700, $145,300, $174,000, $155,900, $133,500, and $158,000. Find the mean, median, mode, and range. So we'll start with the mean. How do you calculate mean? We'll divide by however many there are, and in this case there are 6. So go ahead and add them up. Okay, everybody should be doing this. When you added them up, what was the sum of the numbers? Okay, and then what do you have to do to that sum? Correct. And when you divide it by 6, what do you get? Okay, so what's another word for mean? Average. So the average price of the home that real estate sold in the past month was about $147,566.67. That was the average price of the home. Now the next thing they want us to do is find the median. How do you find median? Okay, so does that mean that 174,000 and 155,900 are the median? Correct. Before finding median, they have to be listed in order from least to greatest. So what was the lowest selling home? Can you be quiet, please? What was the next lowest? Kiara, I don't need that. Then what's the next one? 145. Then 155.9. $158 and $174,000. Okay, so we just got finished saying that the median is the middle. But when you have an even amount of data, you have 2 middle numbers. So how do you calculate median of 2 middle numbers? You do what? That's it? You just add them up? So what are you doing to them? You're averaging them, right? If you have 2 middle numbers to find the median, you add the 2 middle numbers together and divide by 2. So you're just taking the average of 145,300 and 155.9, and then you divide it by 2 and you get what? 150. Right. So the median price of a home that he sold in the last month was $150,600. So pretty close to the mean. Not exactly, but close. All right, now we need to find the mode. What is the definition of mode? The number that occurs the most. Were there any numbers that occurred more than others? So for this one, there's no mode. Okay, and then the last thing they want you to find is range. How do you find range? Right, the highest minus the lowest. So you would start with 174,000, and then from that subtract 118,700, and you get what? 55,300. Shh, y'all be quiet, please. All right, number 2. In question 1, suppose the real estate agent also sold another home during the month priced at $245,000. So now the real estate agent has sold a 7th home, and it's priced at $245,000. How will this price affect the mean? Does it raise or lower it? Right, it will raise the mean, okay, because anytime you add in a number higher than your current average, it's going to raise your average. And then what will it do to the range? It will also increase the range. Because think about it, now your highest number will be 245,000, and you'll be subtracting 118.7 from it, which is a larger distance away. So it'll increase the range as well. Alright, I want you to take a couple of minutes and try 3 and 4 by yourself. You're finding all 4 measures of central tendencies. 3. The fat contents of 7 different sandwiches available at restaurant A are 42, 61, 13, 17, 25, 45, and 30. They want you to take that data and find the mean, median, mode, and range. What did you get when you calculated the mean? What?
I've got 39.
33.29?
I put 39 because I rounded it.
Shh, guys. What did you get from median? 30 is exactly in the middle? Okay, and then what did you get from mode? There's none that occurred more often than others? Okay, what about range? 48. Okay, number 4. Shh. What did you get for the mean? 18.43. Okay, median. Mode. Okay. And range. 31. Okay, go ahead and turn to the next page. Okay, the next page is just more questions like this, but now I'm going to teach you how to do it in the calculator. Now, doing these in the calculator doesn't really make them much faster. However, the other material that we're going to learn this unit, you're going to need to know how to put them in the calculator. Okay, so this is how you do it. First, get your calculator ready. Okay, let's go and do some things because first period used these and I'm afraid they might have messed them up, so let's go and clear them. Second, plus sign 712. And then after we do that, I want you to hit Stat. And then see number 5 says Setup Editor. Hit number 5 and then hit Enter. And now everything should be the way it should be. Okay? Like, people can delete stuff out. And if you go to Stat number 5, it'll fix it all. Okay, so here we go. This is the first thing you're going to do. You're going to hit Stat right here, right below the delete button. That stands for statistics. Then I'm ready to put some information in. So I'm going to do Edit, which is already highlighted, so all you have to do is hit Enter. Now everybody, since everybody did the whole setup editor thing, everybody should have L1, L2, L3. Y'all may not go as far as mine though. Did you just clear your calculator, like I said? Okay. In L1, you're going to put all of your data. So like you'll type in 13, enter, 13, enter, 10, enter, 8, enter, 7, enter, 6, enter, 4, enter, 5, enter. Now look. Right here it now says L19. That means it's waiting for the 9th number. Well, does this list have a 9th number? No, it only has 8. That's why it ends with 9 because it's waiting on the 9th number, but we don't have one. Okay, so does everybody now have the 8 data items typed in L1? Okay, now what you're going to do is go back to Stat, but this time we want to calculate. So go over to Calc, and then this is one variable statistics. Because all of these are the same kind of data. And so hit Enter. And then see right here, List. It should say L1 as long as you haven't messed up anything. And then go down and click Calculate. Okay, you should see that pop up on your screen. X bar represents mean. Okay, X bar is the notation for mean. So you might want to write that on your paper So you start learning the X bar is the same as me. Okay, now if you go down again, you'll see MED, median, 7.5. It does not give you the mode. That's something you just have to do on your own. And it won't give you the range spelled out, but look what it will give you. It'll give you the max and the min. Well, don't you just subtract those to find the range? What's 13 minus 4? 9, and now you have to do the mode on your own. So what number occurs the most? 13. Okay, so let's try number 2 together in case you didn't understand all the calculator directions, and then I'll let you try 3 and 4 by yourself. Okay, you just go back to stat, edit, and now watch. If you want to clear all of this data at once, watch. Hit up until you've highlighted L1, hit clear, and then when you go back down, it'll be gone. That's how you delete it all at once. Hit up till this is highlighted, hit clear, and then go back down and this list is clear. Now we're ready to type in number 2's data. So 20, 30, 35, 24, 36, 47, and 48. And then I always go back and check. According to this, I have 7 digits typed in. You can sit right there. Thank you. Because it's waiting on the 8. So that means there must be 7. And I check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's right. Now I go to Stat, Calculate. This is one variable statistics. And then you just go down and click Calculate, and there are your answers. So what is the mean? So if you rounded it to the hundreds, it should be 0.2 what? 9, because the number after is 5 or greater. So the mean is 34.29. If you were rounding it to the tenths place, what would it have been? 34.3. Had you been rounding that to the thousandths place, what would you have written? Correct. The thousandths place is the third one over, but when you write this, it'll jump up to a 6 because the number after is 5 or greater, so it'd be 0.286. Okay, median. You have to go down to see it. There it is, 35. The mode you have to do on your own. What's the number that occurs the most? None of them repeat. And then the range. You have to keep going down until you see max. The max is 48. The min is 20. So what's the range? 28. Okay, now I want you to take a couple of minutes to try 3 and 4 with the calculator. And while I'm aware that some of you probably think it's faster to just do it by hand, you're going to have to know these steps for some things that we're going to move into in this packet, so you might as well practice with the calculator. Okay, say that you have a list and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the mode? No mode. Okay, say that I start adding some numbers. What's the mode now? What's the mode now? 1 and 2, because they occur more than 3, 4, and 5. What's the mode now? 1, 2, and 3 are the mode. What's the mode now? 1, 2, 3, and 4, because they occur more than 5 does. What's the mode now? Back to no mode, because now none of them occur more than the other. Yeah, if they all occur the same amount of times, it's no mode. Something has to occur more often than the others to create a mode. Does that make sense? Okay, so for number 3, what did you get for the mean? Median, 3.5 also. Mode, there's 4 modes. 1, 2, and 4. And then the range, 6, because 7 minus 1. Turn around and pay attention. Number 4, what's the mean? Okay, 0.16, or no, if you're rounding to the hundreds, it should be 0.17. If you're rounding to the tenths, 0.2. Median, 137.5. Okay, and since I end up with a number that was not in my list, that tells me right away that there were 2 middles that had to be averaged. Okay, mode. Okay, no numbers repeat. And range, 50. What's it going? 175 down to 125, so 50. Yeah. Okay, next. 125 is lower. Okay, next page. Find the measures of central tendency for the data. So for this one, you're definitely going to want to use the calculator. But once you get the list typed in, I'm going to show you something else you can do that will help you identify the mode quicker, since there's so many. You can go to stats, and then we're going to sort them. So go down to number 2 and hit enter. Okay, and that should pop up on your screen. Sort A. Now we have to sort the list that we're putting in. Do you see right here above the regular one how it says L1 in blue? So hit second and then L1 and now hit enter. And it says done. Because we wanted to sort our list. Now when you go back to stat edit and you look at your list, they put them in order. And that might make it a little easier to find the mode. You still have to count them, but at least they're grouped, so you won't accidentally skip one.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
No, there's only one mode. One number occurs the most. Which one is it? 8. 8 occurs 10 times. Yes. Because you're looking for the one that occurs the most. That's what we're getting to. Alright, number 6. Which measure of central tendency do you think, that should say do you think, gives the best indication of the number of hours a typical person spends sleeping at night? Well, it's definitely not the range, right? Because that's way off compared to the rest of the data. So what do you think gives the best? But look how close these are. But look, guys, you're looking for the... It is, but however, can an average be skewed? Like, what if everybody made, 60, 70, or 80 on the test, but one person made a 20, which brought the average down? The mean can be thrown off by outliers. Look how close these are. They're both 8. So we would say the median or the mode would be the best indicator of how many hours a typical person sleeps at night. Okay, suppose another person was surveyed who said he spends 3 hours sleeping at night. How would this affect the mean, median, mode, and range? Okay, well watch. This is all you got to do. You've already got the data in your list, so just go to the bottom of it and add that extra data item. Okay, we now have a data item of 3. Hit enter, and then go back to stat calc and calculate it with your new data. Okay, now what is the mean? Which is a little bit lower than the previous one, right? Our new mean is 7.25 or 7.3 if you're rounding to the tenths. Our new median is what? 8, which went a little bit higher, right? No, the same. And then our mode, what's our mode? Still 8, because throwing in a 3 didn't change anything because that's the only 3 in the list. And then range, will that 3 affect our range? Yes, because now your minimum is 3 and your max is still 10, so it's 7. So when we compare these, how did it compare with the mean? Lower. Not much, but a little bit. How did it compare with the median? The same. How did it compare with the mode? The same. And how did it compare with the range? It went higher because you had an outlier which made the spread of data further apart.